Just get a tape recording and you don't come up doing their number. Really bad.
Well, none of them have been, they've all been at least
6 seconds ago. Okay, we'll start with the two-shot.
Harrison, I wonder, working in Star Wars, where you're surrounded with so much hardware and special effects and things that you had to imagine, you didn't actually have the setting there. The first time you saw Star Wars, what were some of your thoughts and your reactions?
Well, I was delighted, of course, and very proud of the people that created it. Grateful to be a part of it.
But did some of it look different from what you had imagined it was going to look?
Well, I had no idea of how skillful or spectacular the special effects were going to be. I was surprised by that. But I knew pretty much what the rest of it was going to be like. Yeah.
Did any particular thing grab you as far as the special effects and where you just thought, wow, I didn't know it was going to be like that?
Well, that opening shot is a stroke of genius. I don't want to describe it for fear of ruining it for somebody else, but there is an opening special effects shot which most audiences applaud. It's almost the first shot of the picture, and that's very nice to see.
Yes.
You know that you have the audience from that point on.
Yes. Have you always been a kind of Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, sci-fi fan?
No, I never have. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen one of those Buck Rogers or Flash Gordon series.
Well, now we have something in common, Harrison, because
you haven't either.
No, I never read that stuff when I was a kid.
neither did I.
Never interested me, as a matter of fact. And I've never.
Well, George did. George, but this is George's movie, and George was able to write something which was accessible to my intelligence, so that I could come up with something that I'd never seen before.
Well, that's what is interesting to me, is the fact that people like you and me and others that I've talked with who say, well, I don't like sci-fi, I don't like that sort of thing.
But I like
wow,
this.
I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Why do we like this?
Well, it's a fantasy. It's not science fiction so much as it is space fantasy. And it's about people. It's finally about people and not finally about science. So the energy of the movie goes towards exploring these human relationships, and I think that's what makes it so accessible to people.
When you were making the film, I'm thinking of specifically the robots, for instance. Did they have problems with those because there were people inside them?
There were sometimes people inside, and sometimes, sometimes they were all mechanical. There were about 4 or 5 different versions of R2-D2, the small robot, and I think only one of them was used with a person inside of it. But they have, of course, inevitable problems with that much technology. And of course, movies are made under such demands of time and money that it's inevitable that difficulties arise with this stuff. And everything that was being done for the first time. So there were a lot of problems technically to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Did this make for a tenseness?
No.
No?
No, I think it just created a well of energy to deal with it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of energy.
Harrison, are you beginning to see the effects of Star Wars on your personal life and your career? Maybe things that haven't been happening up till now for you?
Well, everyone has respect for success, and this film is certainly a success. And it has produced the inevitable change for me, yeah.
In what way?
Well, there are a lot more scripts for me to read, and a lot more people interested in using my services, much to my delight.
What about recognition? Do you, when you go out in public, are you beginning now to be people running up to you and want to talk
Well, you know,
about
I
it?
saw the film with an audience for the first time about 3 days ago. Sat next to 2 people who were sitting through the film for the second time. And they engaged me in a conversation about the film, telling me how much they enjoyed it and what it was all about. And I asked them a few questions about specifics of why they enjoyed it so much. After the film was over, they asked me why I had left during the middle of it if I didn't like the movie. And They didn't recognize me at all. No.
Really?
No. I've never been recognized. In fact, in my early career, I considered that to be sort of a problem, that characters that I played in different movies, it was not acknowledged that it was the same person doing the job.
I bet all that's going to change, though. Harrison, thank you so much for talking
Thank
with
you.
us
It's been
today.
my
It's been
pleasure.
a pleasure meeting you.
And this is Bobby Wygant at 20th Century Fox Studios in Hollywood.
Thank you. Very pleasant.
Nice interview. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I really could identify with you on, the fact that I went to it knowing this wasn't my kind of.
You know, this is funny, because you come on this show, you've been here several times, you're always, you're a lot of fun to talk to, and then I get there's this image of Harrison Ford that's out there that you're grumpy. There's this grumpy Harrison Ford image.
That's horse. Maybe first thing in the morning.
Right, right.
Before my
Occasionally,
coffee.
before your coffee.
But I'm not a grumpy person.
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all.
Well, good.
Man, you give a look. We've talked about this before, but you can give a look. Can we just give me that look again? You can give a look that just, look at that. I don't have that. I would kill to have an intimidating look like that. I have this kind of thing. And it means nothing. It does nothing. People giggle.
Yeah.
Little girls giggle when I try and intimidate people.
Well, don't do that.
Okay, I won't. I'll stop doing it.
Don't do that.
Let me ask you a little bit about your life now. You're living here in New York.
No.
Okay. My research is flawed.
No, I'm living in Los Angeles. My kids are in school in Los Angeles, so
Yes.
I spend the school year there.
You spent the school year there. You do have a place that you moved into downtown. Is that true?
Well, near downtown.
Near downtown. We don't want to get too
But
specific.
Near New York. It's, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when you invite me over, I'll know the specific address.
Right.
You can give that to me at any time. It doesn't have to be now. Yeah. But it was in the paper recently that you were, let's say, living somewhere in this general area, walking around, and you hadn't installed blinds, and neighbors were watching you, and it was reported that you were walking around naked. And I just have to ask about it, because that's my job. Got to ask about it.
No, it's not true.
Not true. No truth to that at all.
No.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not true.
Not true.
It's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true. I would never do anything like that.
Never do anything like
I'm
that.
a very sort of reserved and shy person.
Right. So you were fully clothed at all times, walking around.
Yeah, well, not fully clothed, but clothed. Mostly clothed.
Mostly clothed.
From here up, at least.
Great. Okay, I'm picturing it now.
Yeah. This is going, there's a direction we've taken tonight that I'm not sure I'm that comfortable
It all began with penis mullet. I'm very ashamed of what I do. Let me ask you something, and this is a question I've wanted to ask you for a while, and I've always restrained myself.
Yeah.
Star Wars, of course, came out 1977, I believe. Huge international hit, one of the biggest hits of all time. Rockets you to superstardom. And then shortly afterwards, a Christmas special came out that was produced by George Lucas, in which all of the participants in Star Wars came together, and they made this Star Wars Christmas special, and the tape's been passed around for years, and the rumor is that Lucas is trying to suppress it because none of you look happy while you're making this thing. And I thought I'd just ask you about it. Do you remember making this Christmas special? I think it was 1978. No, you don't remember it? You have no memory of this incident.
No, none whatsoever.
No memory of it at all.
No,
So it
no.
doesn't exist in your...
No, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
No.
What if I were to tell you that I had a little piece of tape right now? No! What if I were to roll that piece of tape? How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't feel... I don't know. I've never seen it. Maybe it'll be nice. Go ahead. Roll it.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Chewie, check and see if the coast is clear, will you? You're like family to me.
Thank you.
Yeah. That Wookiee looked at you with lust. That was
Real affection.
quasi-affection, yeah.